it exists, but you could start to see the diabolical nature of a lot of the programs that are starting to happen. Well, some people call this satanic or demonic, and I agree with a lot of that. Now, some of you might not even know this, but I'm going to inform you, the body of Christ, what's coming to your neighborhood in just a couple of days. From February 11th through 13th, SatanCon, the National Satanic Conference, is coming here to Scottsdale. It's sold out February 11th, 12th, and 13th. That will be hosted here at a local hotel. Now, I chuckle at this because Turning Point USA has trouble getting hotels to host us because they call us too controversial. But yeah, sure, the Satanists, like, yeah, we'll rent out the whole ballroom. It's like, it kind of changes the whole definition of what is considered to be controversial. By the way, you could fact check all this. It's all very public. They chose Scottsdale for a reason. They chose Scottsdale because the former mayor of Scottsdale, he did the right thing, but he's actually, unfortunately, I think, backed away from it in some of his statements, saying that the Church of Satan should not be allowed to make a prayer at Scottsdale City Council meetings. That was the right move. He has since said, well, you know, this thing happening in Scottsdale is just, it's free speech. You know, that's what it is. Now, this is an interesting thing to ponder on, and I don't think there's a clear-cut answer of it, but when Thomas Jefferson and James Madison and John Jay and Alexander Hamilton were talking about freedom of speech, I don't think Satan conventions were what they thought as the fruits of liberty. Like, oh yeah, the fruits of liberty, Luciferian conventions happening in the middle of, you know, really decent places to live. And I'm going to go into some of the details, what they're going to be doing there, because it's important. So the literal, like, outward darkness is coming into the valley. Now, some Christians say, oh, I have no problem with this. You know, Satan is in a lot of different places. He's not everywhere. The Bible does not say he's ubiquitous. He focuses on a certain place. Yeah, I have a big problem with this. I think that if you tolerate evil, especially literally Satan conventions and conferences, yeah, the ramifications of that are quite obvious, right? And the Bible tells us that we should love what is good and hate what is evil, and Lord rebuke you. It says very clearly in Jude 1:9. So, but this is an important point, which is that, you know, some people say that we can't do anything about this because it's just freedom of speech and all this. Now, there's a political and a legal standpoint of this, and there's also a spiritual standpoint of this, right? I want to alert all of you so that you could be praying, and there will be a big protest in opposition to this. I hope it's a big protest. And I do want to give a shout out. The local Catholic diocese has actually been on top of this. I know that a lot of people here might not have warm feelings towards Catholics, but they deserve a lot of credit. They really do. They've been organizing about this, and they deserve credit for that. I would love to see a peaceful kind of spiritual counterbalance. Now, here's some of their programming. They have the Impurity Ball that will be happening in downtown Scottsdale. This is their national convention, right? This is like their Super Bowl. And we should kind of mock them because they're losers. We win and you lose in the end. That's how the book ends. So the Impurity Ball is a display of bodily autonomy, personal growth, and the joys of sinning with abandon, right? Now, here's where some people say, oh, you know, okay, this is just a fringe group. Okay. Well, in Moline, Illinois, this very same organization is now having groups in schools. It's been approved, after school clubs, and that's one of the things they're meeting on here in Scottsdale, right? How do we implement more Satan clubs in local public schools in Arizona and across the country? So your taxpayer-funded dollars can go to underwrite satanic activity. But here's the thing, everybody, right? They're all about bodily autonomy. It's the Impurity Ball. But they require proof of vaccination and N95 masks, and they're required at all times, okay? So the Satanists, it actually makes perfect sense, though. They have a spirit of fear, and we don't. That's why they have to wear masks all the time, right? So all kidding aside, from a political standpoint, our leaders can decide whatever they want to do. You know, I said something on my radio show. Someone emailed us. They say, Charlie, you know, isn't it a slippery slope if you start to say some people can speak and some people can't? Where do you draw the line? Yeah, I draw the line at Satan conferences, actually. That's my line. So thanks for asking, right? Like, that's actually the line. I think it doesn't make us a better country to live in, Satan conferences. And if that's considered to be controversial, we could explore that, I guess, in the question and answer time. But I do this to alert you and to encourage you to try to participate through prayer, through fasting, through, intercessory intervention. This is an important thing. We should mock it, we should laugh at it, obviously, but also we should take it seriously because there's something here. I want you to think about it. They could have picked any country, any state. Well, let's just say any state. It's the American Satanist organization or whatever. And why Arizona? That's an interesting question, right? Yeah, it could be because of the city council thing that really irritated them, or it's like, nah, we have like a pretty heavy presence in Hollywood and Manhattan. We're going to go to the spiritual battleground. Maybe that's what they're thinking, right? And I, for one, want to be part of a group of people that literally drive Satan out of Phoenix and of Arizona. And I hope you'll all join us February 11th, 12th, and 13th to do that together. So on that wonderfully uplifting note, but it is uplifting because we know how it all ends.